I just wrapped up my work day. I've been trying to vlog all day long. It just did not feel like it was my day today. I started it off at the DMV. That was just its own little ordeal, but I'm back here. I took some work meetings and now I'm ending my day. We just bought a new fire pit and I really wanted one for a while. We kind of went back and forth on the kind of fire pit that we wanted. So we finally landed on something that we agreed on. I always make fun of my husband because he always gets got by Instagram ads, but this one was actually a good Instagram ad. It's called a Breeo. It's very similar to the brand Solo Stove. Tonight we're gonna cook over an open flame and I bought some steaks, mushrooms, and potatoes. And we're also gonna do some caramelized onions. I'm just gonna get that prep before he gets home. He's had a really long week at work, so I'm gonna do all the hard work. So all he has to do is come home and throw the meat on the fire. Fun fact about me, I have health OCD, like very badly. Every piece of vegetable and fruit that comes in this house must be soaked. But look at this. I'm gonna show y'all the water. Like, ew, this is just from soaking from 20 minutes, okay? Ew, look at that. This is why it's important to soak your veggies and your fruits. Just so much crap comes off of them. I'm just doing some yellow potatoes tonight. I'm gonna try and cook them over the fire and see how that goes. And of course, our marshmallows. Our marshmallows are literally disgusting. The water is brown. I definitely expected more dirt to come off these, but ugh, just so like, ew, what even is that? So important to soak literally everything before you eat it, and I will get off of my soapbox. These are just organic yellow potatoes that I bought from Whole Foods. These are so yummy. I'm just gonna slice them up here. I don't really know how these are gonna taste over an open flame. I'm gonna assume that they're gonna taste awesome, but I normally will roast my potatoes. I feel like the Bob Ross of cooking, because anything kind of goes, you know what I mean? There's so many different ways to end up at the same end result. And I think that's why I like it, because there's really, unless you're baking, not a ton of rules here. And I like to live in a very loose rule society. I'm gonna tell y'all about our friends that are coming into town while I chop all these veggies. Plus it'll make the time go by a little quicker. I can't wait for my husband to get home. Y'all, I like am just a little giddy golden retriever when he walks through the door. Okay, so this weekend is so exciting. We're so excited to host, first of all. When we lived in Destin, I don't know if any of y'all here have been to Destin or if you currently live there, but if you've ever been, you know it's like small town beach vibes, and it's very transient, okay? Not a lot of people live there, so it was pretty hard to make friends when we first moved there, and we actually made friends with this couple. Their names are Danny and Trey, and I'm sure if you've seen the wedding vlog or my bachelorette vlog, or you know me personally, you guys know Danny and Trey. They're some of our closest couple friends. We love and miss them very much. Long story short, between you and me, we're trying to convince them to move to DC, and they love where they're at, but I'm up for the challenge, okay? We want this weekend to be the best weekend these people have ever had. We want them to leave wowed. Rex and I were talking about this over the weekend. The very first time Rex and I ever came to visit DC and started this house hunting process, we left that weekend, first of all, exhausted, okay? There were so many things to do, and we had so many reservations already booked that we had to straight up cancel some of those reservations. We were so tired. We had to come home and take a nap in between reservations. We also left that weekend with shin splints. There's just so much walking that goes on in a city, and like living at the beach, sure, yeah, like we were used to walking, but not like this. We want them to have this exact same experience that we did. We fell in love with this place the very first time we've ever visited. Not to make Virginia/DC my entire personality, but I absolutely love it here. Like, we're so thrilled to live in a city, and we're slowly starting to find community. I say slowly because no, it did not happen immediately when we moved here like we thought it would, but it's definitely taken us less time to find friends locally than it did when we lived in Destin. Obviously, this is the nation's capital. Of course, a bunch of people live here, but I will say there's definitely like little pockets of the city. In the pocket of the city that we're in, there's a lot of families and older people, so we really haven't met a ton of people in our neighborhood yet, which brings me to my next topic. Our neighborhood, first of all, is so cute. We love it, and we definitely think we'd like to stay here. We're just renting right now, but once we find, you know, like our forever home, we're really hoping that we find it in this neighborhood. Not only is this like the ideal trick-or-treating neighborhood. They're having a block party. Rex and I really want to just have the backyard open, the bonfire pit going. To be honest, this is a very liberal part of town, which no shade. Love that, live your truth. But you know, we're from Florida and I have a couple assumptions in my head, I guess, of like what people hear when we say like, oh, we're new here, we're from Florida. I thought it would be funny to put like a sign out front that says, ooh, spooky, your new conservative neighbors have moved in. Ooh, scary, like meet your new neighbors around back. I don't know, I don't think everybody would receive that as well as I would, but I thought it was funny. Look at this big old baby. Y'all, he has all this beautiful backyard and all he wants to do is be with his mama. I mean, just pitiful, pitiful. What do you need? Hey guys, so walked away without my mic. So here we are in post trying to explain what was going on. Oh no! I really thought I was doing something. All right, so anyways, here, let me tell y'all what I'm doing here. I'm showing y'all my shovel, okay? I got a new shovel. It's for my new bonfire pit. And here I am just scooping out the ash. But I don't really know what to do with the ash, so I'm gonna use this. I don't really even know what this is. This was a bucket that got left behind from the renters before us. But y'all, check out this grill, okay? This is sick. We literally are cooking our food on it. And Rex and I have been making jokes like, thank God we got this bonfire pit because the government shut down. So if we have to cook our food on it when we get evicted, at least we'll have a stove. Anyways, oh, here I am in my garden. I really am in my gardening era, okay? I resoiled this whole thing recently and everything's growing back so fresh. So I'm putting some fresh rosemary out for the steaks tonight. This will be the last time I ever forget my mic, and lesson learned, y'all. So hopefully this wasn't too distracting, and yeah, let's get on with the rest of the video. We have a dimmer on our little lights outside and they always come on at the perfect time. We've got them on like a dusk to dawn setting, which just so happens to be one of my favorite Morgan Wallen songs. All right, y'all, here's a little hillbilly tip from me to you. Dryer lint as your kindling. If you don't know, this is extremely flammable. And if you're anything like me, you worry about this catching fire in your house 23 hours of the day. Okay, the majority of my time is spent worrying about this actually going poof into flames in my house. And that is what it's like inside of my brain. This stuff is extremely flammable. We're gonna put it under our little pieces of wood. We're gonna get this baby started. Rex is about to be home. I am so behind on dinner. Okay, just so quickly goes up in flames. It's crazy. I really feel like a cave woman.